Hi guys, how are we all doing? Tornado922 here, and back to finish off the remainder of the questions you have for me. Now, I've only got a limited time on here, so I'm going to have to make them very quick. So apologies if I seem a bit short and sharp in some of these, but unfortunately I've only got 27 minutes and 54 seconds in order to do all this. Alright, so Transport 11, could you please do trains at Culham on the Great Western Main Line? It's the line between Didcot Park and Oxford. I don't see why not. SWR Transporter and HA level crossings. Do you prefer 707s or 700s? They're both the same really. I don't really have much of a preference, to be fair. Rob Horn, in terms of waving or sound of their horns, who would you say are the more friendly train drivers, passenger or freight? Well, they're both just as friendly, to be fair. It depends on the driver, to be honest, because they don't always have to sound their horns, so it really is dependent upon the driver. Crystal Movies, what is your opinion on the new Slenderman trailer? It's weird, really, it's weird. Also, do you agree that 91 is the best train in the world and nothing has and ever will beat it? No. Sorry, the HST will beat the 225 sets. In my mind, they look beautiful, there's just something about them that the 91s just can't quite capture. Right, Dylan Townley, can you please do Staley Bridge because Scouse Transport 1999 has been there? Sure. Why not? I could do it, quite happily. Sam Waddingham, you are knocking on the door of 4K subscribers. How will you celebrate this fantastic landmark? I'll be filming in continental Europe when I get to that one. Specifically, Amsterdam, when I hit that particular milestone. Chilton 006, not train related, what is your favourite meal? Ooh. Difficult. It's a choice. So a real good ham hock, or could be lasagna? Chilton 006, have you ever been to Wales to film there? Yes, I've been once to film at Seven Tunnel Junction. But I will be going back. Right. Oh god. T Sangpur Gorge? Would you film at a station which gets less than one train an hour? Now, someone did reply to you, and I've seen your reply. So you're looking at the likes of really less frequent stations. Yeah, I guess I could really, as whilst I don't know if I would really want to film at a station that has really, really slow frequency of services, I guess I could do it. Peter Kimber, who do you reckon will win the High Speed 2 rolling stock tender? And what DMUs would you get rid of, and what would you use to replace them with? Right, well, High Speed 2 rolling stock, and that all depends who wins the contract. As it stands, Virgin Trains are well in the running, because if you hold the West Coast franchise, you then hold the High Speed 2 franchise. So I think that ultimately depends who wins it, and they will then put the order in for new rolling stock, so it's difficult to say. And what EMUs/DMUs would you get rid of, and what would you use to replace them? Well, Pacers, obviously I'd like to get rid of those, and CAF are building new DMUs and EMUs to phase them out. So that's fairly easy enough. EMU-wise, there's nothing EMU-wise I'd get rid of, ultimately. Well, tell a lie, 313s. They've used it as sell-by date, they look tatty. I'm not sure what I'd use to replace them with, though. I guess just something, I don't know, something similar. But it just needs to, it's gauging, I guess. Maybe something that's 4 or 5 cars in length, decent seating, and yeah, something like that I would have thought. Yeah, that's the only EMU I'd get rid of, really. Other DMUs, I'd be fine with. It's just Pacers and 313s, I think, really. Ultimately, I'd go and get shot of. Warrington Transport 2778. Have you ever been to a station to film and wish you had not bothered? Yep, Seven Sisters. Razor 1905. Have you ever got a model hair? Have you got any model trains and will you be blah 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 blah? Have you got a model? Shall I try that again? Have you got any model trains and will you build a layout? If so, can you make videos of it? Yes, I've got no end of model trains, and this year, in February in particular, I've booked a week off work to basically spend a solid week building a garden layout in 00 gauge. And yes, there will be many films to follow. Najib Gaming Cool Guy LOL. What's so good about watching trains for 40 minutes? Ask any train spotter and they'll tell you the exact same thing. It's relaxing, it's fun, you get out, you meet people, socialise. Great Eastern Train Spotter. You got 5 questions here. Number 1, do you prefer HSTs or IETs and why? HSTs because they've got a real sense of character about them. VP185 engines in the East Midlands trains because they scream and sound beautiful. But then the MTUs have a gurgle about them and a real roar. Number 2, do you prefer Electrostars or Eventras and why? Well, I've yet to see any Eventras, quite frankly. So Electrostars are going to have to take the bucket. They're a bit bland, but they're comfortable. If you worked with railways one day, what would you do and why? Freight. I've got a real thing for freight. I'd just love to be behind a 66 and just go from like Dollond's Moor to like Moss End. Just a real heavy hitting one. It'd just be cool. 4. Who is your favourite train operator and why? I'd say Virgin Trains West Coast because in the 20 years that they've held the West Coast bid, they've done so well in getting those services like spot on. They've introduced more, put some real good infrastructure in there as well. Number 5. What would you think of the 221s in the new Virgin Trains livery? They could work. There's no reason to suggest why they wouldn't, but yeah, give it a try. Why not? Crack on, as they say. Manchester United train nutter. Well, I like your name already. Tornado 922, 2 questions. How dare you? Do you prefer Class 465 networkers or Class 357 Electrostars? Well, the 465s, there's something about them. They have a little bit of a quirky face to them. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's just something about them. And are you thinking about filming on the LTS mainline? Well, I don't see why not. I mean, I've had a quick peek again. There's potential. There's potential. Jamie Beach. I have 2 questions for you. Madness. First, do you think High Speed 2 will top High Speed 1? No. No, it won't. Because High Speed 1 will at some stage get more international services, whereas High Speed 2 is just local. Because there's going to be no join to High Speed 1. Because what would be good is if there was some sort of branch from High Speed 1 to High Speed 2, so you could get an international train from Birmingham into Europe. Now that would be good. Also, will you be filming on High Speed 1 this year? Yes, I'll be going to Ashford International. And one last question, that makes it 3, my man. That's 3. Would you prefer taking a HST every day of your life or a VTEC 225 set every day of your life? Oh, HST. Love your vids. And you and Scouse Transport 1999 are the 2 best train spotting YouTubers there are. That's very kind of you to say so. I don't consider myself one of the best, but I'm deeply flattered that you reckon that of me. Freight Dude 1000. Number 1. What do you think about the new London North Western Railways Company? It's very good. They've got some great potential. What they're going to be doing with their rolling stock is fantastic. The new livery is I don't know. So hopefully they twerk it. 2. Are you going to miss the HST when it heads off to Scotland? Nope. Because it means they're still in the UK, and I'll be going up to Scotland at some stage, so I'll still be able to catch them, so get in. 3. Would you consider heading to the South Wales, Bristol, Filton, Cardiff, etc.? Yes. When I do my Great Western Railway series, I'm going to be going to Cardiff, so I shall be filming there, obviously Bristol and everything else in that area. And finally, what is your favourite highlight of 2017? It would be going to Barking last year to go see the China train coming into the UK and get ITV to interview. Now, that was definitely my highlight. Liverpool Transport Racing. What's it like to film at Stafford? I've never been there before, but apparently it's good for getting plenty of freight trains. Stafford is a fantastic station to film at. It does completely depend on the time of day. When I went there this afternoon, fair amount of freight, nothing massive. So it really does depend on on what day you go and the time of the day as well. Warrington Train Spotter 2778. I'm just checking the time. How many more questions have I got to go with? Oh, not many. There's plenty of time to play with here. Apart from the pacer, what other train would you like to see scrapped? The 139 people Parry mover. I mean, good grief. Whoever the designer is of that, hang your head in shame, sir. How can you even call that a train? I mean, why? It's just not appealing in any way, shape or form. Chris at Railway, what is your favourite station on the East Coast Main Line? Did you? No. Doncaster. Be that one. It's old school. And it's just great. You haven't got much in the way of cover, so if it chucks it down with rain or it's really windy, you're knackered. But it just adds to the charm, really. It's this is a charming station. Silly 5-year-old. Class 67 or 66? Well, it's got to be the 67s, because obviously the 66 is the main workhorse of the rail freight industry nowadays. So seeing the 67s running around and doing their thing on test trains with Collis Rail in particular, in their glory days with Chiltern Railways, and obviously when they were doing the Royal Mail trains, before the 325s snuck in and stole the show. So yeah, it has to be 67s. Right, Kieran Clark. I have only 4 questions. Do you? 1. What Great Northern franchise? Sorry, in the Great Northern franchise, what is your favourite class? Well, obviously it's current, so I can't say 321 because they've gone. They've actually gone to Greater Anglia. I don't know. It's probably the 365s. They're very sleek. Interesting sound when they take off, I must admit. How would you rate the 317s? Well, obviously they were built by Brell in York, same people that made the 321s, so the traction motor is exactly the same. Very comfortable. A bit noisy though. There isn't much in the way of soundproofing, so you can hear everything from the outside. Do you like the 313s? Yeah. Excuse me. They're okay, but they've ran their course. They're very dirty, very tatty, and ultimately they do need to be replaced with the more modern and really safer trains. And 4, how would you rate Edinburgh? And Edinburgh is in capital letters. Edinburgh is a fantastic station. I can't get enough of the place. It's brilliant. Now, obviously, when I go there, I stand at the northern end, so I catch all the Scottish services. So I don't actually see any of the Virgin Trains East Coast, or even 90% of the cross-country trains. But, it's a great station to go to. I can't fault it, really. The staff are plenty friendly. When I've gone there, though, I've never actually asked to film. I've just gone straight up onto the far side and just started filming. And obviously, I know you're supposed to ask for permission to film, but half the time I just go up there, I just start filming. And I see it in the sense of, if the staff can see you in clear as day and see what you're doing, then it will be okay. But obviously, with everything that's been happening over the past couple of years, I've got myself into the habit of going whatever station I go to and saying, to any member of staff, oh, by the way, I'm going to be on such and such platform, just doing some train spotting in case you see some random bloke with a tablet going, oh, look at that, no, 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 and get a bit nervous. So that's I try and sort of encourage other people to do that as well. Get out of the habit of just expecting it to be okay. Always ask permission. If they want you to sign something, then yeah, go on, sign it. Because that way they've got records of you being on the station in case something happens. You may want to just leave something behind. So say, I'll leave this because I can't get anywhere without it, so I've got to come back for it anyway. So always go out with the greatest of intentions, and I'm sure everything will be okay. Proctor98, how was your day? Well, today it's been perfectly fine, with the exception of the robotic voice on the go. But yeah, it's been okay. Hope your day's been well, so thank you. And finally, Chris at Railways. If you were in charge of the rail network, which locomotives or trains would you keep or scrap, and why? Now, I've got 10 minutes, so I can sort of go into greater length in this one. Right, if I was in charge of the railways, first off, Chiltern Main Line would be a big one for me. I'd like to see more services being utilised on there. I'd like to see more purpose-built express trains on there. Now I know they're very big on their Turbo Stars and Clubmans and everything else like that, but they have got a few of the 68 sets. So I'd like to see a few more express sets go on there and actually do even longer express runs really. So London Marylebone to Birmingham Moor Street and Birmingham Snow Hill, and carry on to the likes of Manchester, because I reckon that route could be exceptionally profitable for them with the 68s, because they've got the catering cars on them, so they can afford to do it. Then I would also reintroduce the London Paddington to Birmingham Snow Hill trains, because they used to run on that. The famous Midland Pullman used to operate on there, so I'd like to see that come back into the fray again. The Great Western Main Line, I would like to... Well, actually, I wouldn't even touch Great Western Main Line. I'd leave it. Network Rail are sort of doing their own thing. They've buggered it up completely. The costs have gone through the roof. Leave them to it. Like, crack on, lads. You've made a bit of a balls up. You sort it all out. The East Coast Main Line, I would consider quadrupling the track everywhere, really. Most notably in the Welling area, because you've got the Welling Viaduct between Welling Garden City and Welling North, and that is a bottleneck, complete bottleneck. So obviously now I know the viaduct is basically it's a landmark. Really, it's simply brilliant. It's a massive feat of engineering. So if I were to extend it, obviously I'd duplicate the arches, the exact same style, so it doesn't interfere. So that way commuter can come in, do all their business, and not get in the way of everything else. Now it does mean significant re-signalling, significant electrification, and some real big changes to some of the station layouts. And obviously there's going to be tunnelling as well. Right, the Great Anglian Main Line, or the Great Eastern Main Line. Wouldn't really touch that. West Coast, I'd leave be, that's all good. Move on to trains. All of the trains, really, I'd keep. The ones I'd get rid of are the ones that, to me, would cause the greatest passenger risks, so the Pacers, because in my eyes, I'm sorry, they're not safe. You may travel on them every day and have a different opinion, but they're not safe. They're really not. You look at the trains nowadays, if you have an impact in a 350, you've got a greater chance of surviving if you stayed in a 350. Now, if you had that impact in a Pacer, the body would disintegrate. There's no protection. There just isn't. They were cheaply built. They were built for the masses, and they weren't designed to last as long as they did. So, really, the Pacers have to go on safety grounds, quite frankly. Replace them with sturdier, stronger DMUs, or even EMUs, depending on the routes they take. Locomotives, I wouldn't get rid of locomotives. All the locos are currently good. But train-wise, definitely Pacer. 139, because, I'm sorry. Just no. Excuse me. 313s, they need replacing. Really, there's nothing else I can think of at this moment in time that could be doing. London Underground stock. Some of the much older generation of stock could do with being upgraded. Because obviously you've got the new Viva Rail trains that were former London Underground stock. So there's no reason to suggest that you couldn't take old London Underground stock away and use them for something else. But yeah, I think some London Underground stock needs redoing as well. And that's really about it, to be fair. So, well, I hope I've got everything on there. I've got a few more minutes, so I'll have a quick scan around again, just make sure that if I have answered stuff, I've done it in a better way as possible. I've got limited time, so I can only apologise. I've done that. I've done that one. No, I think I can't really go into much greater detail with some of those questions, but because some of them are sort of all sharp and straight to the point, which is fine by me. If you've got sharp and straight to the point questions, then yeah, crack on. But I'll do another one of these in a few months' time. Basically, the reason I like doing this is because I get more and more subscribers, so I want to try and get them more involved in what I do. Because I'm not like some YouTube channels, you know, they focus heavily on subscribers and they don't really interact with them. They just pump out videos on a daily basis and go, yeah, that'll do. Now, I like to give, I say good, I like to give you films to enjoy. So I don't do fancy editing tricks or anything like that. What you see is what you get. Much like this. There's no editing, it's straight raw. So I like to give it how it is. It's fun for everyone else. I like to get people involved, and I like to get your opinions, really. Because that's why I like doing this. I do this for not just myself, but for everyone else. Because if you guys enjoy it, I enjoy it. That's how I see it. I do it for your enjoyment. So I do Q&As because I want to get you guys involved, because I want to interact with you and find out more things about you, and you can find more things about me as well. That's the idea. Now, excuse the fact I'm wearing this, but, you know, branding, got to be done, you know. Yes, branding on my own channel. There's logic. Don't question it, there's logic. But yes, well, thank you all kindly for the questions. It's been fantastic responses throughout. Great getting you guys on board. Thoroughly enjoy it. So after these go up, my 2 Stafford films will be up. After Stafford, it'll be Peterborough on the East Coast Main Line. I'm going to ditch Grantham. I can do that another time. So after Peterborough, it's then going to be Lodge Farm on the West Coast Main Line, which no one's filmed at before, so that'll be a nice one to go to. Then Leighton Buzzard, and then my new journeys will start again from Leighton Buzzard to Watford Junction, where I'll then get London Overground from Watford to Carpenter's Park, do some filming on there, and see how we get on. So yes, I hope you're all keeping well, guys. I hope your year's going slightly better than mine. And I shall see you all in my Trainsact films and my Journey films. And then in a few months' time, maybe 4 or 5 months from now, I'll do another Q&A for everybody. And I hope you can all get involved. So yes, as I said, I hope you're all doing well. I hope your respective channels are doing well. And stay safe out there. Right, well, I've been Tornado922. And I shall catch you all later. Take care, guys. Goodbye.